Yo, what's up, good people? It's your girl, Dr. Mia. Jesus is showing out, so the doctor is Zen. Hello, hello, hello. Listen, so we're going to all the way down to how I was hesitating even getting on here. How many of us have read Job and did not realize that he was a leader? Don't everybody raise their hand at once. Because we automatically associate a leader with a squad, right? With a group of people that follow them, and you can identify them because they in the front or they bossing everybody around or whatever the case may be, right? Let's walk down this road of extracting the leadership qualities of Job. Several people tried to get Job to stop believing in God. You know what I'm saying? They had very convincing arguments, even his wife. His wife was like, curse God and die, right? But he stayed the course. You know what I'm saying? He kept it pushing. He kept moving. He kept grooving. He kept pushing forward, even when he wanted to question God, right? All the way at the end when he wanted to question God, he still did it from a place of humility, still acknowledging that God was who he was, just not fully understanding why he was in the position that he was in if he had not offended God, right? And I know y'all like, why are you going down this road? Because a lot of us are walking that path and don't see the similarities in it. A lot of us are walking that Job path with a Judas mindset. Like we've done something to betray God, and that's why we in the situation we in. Like we've done something to cause God to condemn us, and that's why we in the situation we in. You in the situation, and this ain't for everybody. I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm not having respect of persons, none of that, but I just want to keep it a band. This ain't for everybody. These are for those people who have literally stripped everything down to the brake pads for God. You know what I'm saying? He tell you to move, you move. He tell you to stand, you stand. He tell you to shake, you shake. He tell you to be still, you be still. He tell you don't say that, you close your mouth. He tell you speak up, you speak up. This is for those people. You are in you have not upset God. You have one, you in the belly of the whale, like Jonah, because you asked him for something. You either asked him for something or he asked something of you, and you started walking in the opposite direction. And a lot of us don't realize that when we do that, when God says yes and we don't believe him and we start going the opposite way instead of staying the course like Job did, then we try to figure out why we in the belly of the whale and experiencing extended season of Job. So let me give y'all some examples. So case in point, I'm building the doctoral collective, right? Now, this thing, I've been building it. I asked God for it years ago. I'm talking about like begged him, asked him. He said yes. As soon as he said yes, baby, I started walking in the other direction. I'm trying to make t-shirts. I'm trying to write. Well, I can't even say write books because that I'm gonna get to that. But I'm trying to make t-shirts. I'm trying to join other people while they building brick and mortar schools. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing all the things. Baby, I'm doing everything but what I asked them for. If that sound like you, go ahead, drop a comment, tap the screen. I'm doing everything except what I asked him for. And he said yes. So number one, stop telling yourself that he did not say yes. That's number one. Stop telling yourself that he did not say yes. Number two, stop telling yourself that since you don't have a team and you don't fit in, that nobody's following you, because they are. You don't need a team to be a leader. Was Jesus a leader before or after he started leading the disciples? What about David? Was he a leader before or after he started running the kingdom? God calls and chooses leaders before they get the title, not after. That's where the world and the kingdom are in reverse. It's the inward man that he raises up first, and then the external man comes up second. All right. So let's get back to Job. Now, when when the Lord and Satan got to going back and forth about Job, and Satan was like, let me touch him. He said, don't touch him. Touch everything around him except him. How many of us are in that situation right now? Where God is touching where God has allowed the enemy to touch everything around you except you. Them bills got touched. Your kids might be irritating you a little bit more than normal because the stress of your bills getting touched is really messing with your mental. Your relationship at home, because I don't know how many of y'all have noticed that marriages are falling by the wayside like crazy. Your relationships then got touched. You looking real lonely out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? Your creativity is wavy. You don't know what's happening from one moment to the next. But you never equate what's happening to you to what happened with Job. I'm just saying. So let me say something else. Humble thyself before the Lord. That means stop looking down on yourself too. Love thy neighbor as thyself. How you gonna love somebody else if you're looking down on you? Because somebody somewhere is in the back of their head thinking like, me and Job. But do you? If you really dissect Job and the faith that he had and how he didn't rock with nothing nobody else was saying because he knew him and God was like this despite his circumstances, that don't sound like you. I wait. I'm not gonna wait long, but I'm gonna wait. And this ain't just for y'all. I ain't pointing no fingers. This is for all of us. Because we've been walking with our head down. Let me say this. We're not responding like Job did. We're not connecting the dots of how he looked at Job and said there was no one else like him on this earth. Because why? Because our sinful nature that we used to have and no longer have has us thinking that we could not possibly be considered like Job. Let me ask you this. Are you still doing those things you was doing? No? Then if you're not still doing the things you're doing, why are you still walking like you are? Okay, so let's throw that in the trash. So, based on who you are now, right now today, based on who you are now right now today, does your character match or look similar to Job? Many are called to follow. Few are chosen to lead. So let's step off into Jesus, right? Thought in our robbery to consider himself equal with God, but came in the form of a servant and a human. You a child of God, right? We all children of God. So when somebody walk up and say something crazy to you and you don't go to your fleshly instinct and lay holy hands, that's not a godlike character. And you genuinely do not do it because you know that the Lord gonna soul slap you when you get home. Just saying. We keep reading. We read this book. And again, like I said on a previous video, even if you don't believe in the King James Version Bible, even if you don't believe in the Bible at all, is not Jesus's character. What's wrong with it? Nothing, right? What's wrong with being a good person? What's wrong with loving thy neighbor as thyself? What's wrong with not treating other people how they treat you? And taking his permission to say you can kick the dust off your feet if people don't know how to treat you. But do we do that though? Do we kick the dust off our feet when people mistreat us? I know I don't. I need to start. But we just gonna deal with where we at today. Because again, I'm gonna refer to Jesus. When he went into them churches and they didn't want him there, he shot him the deuce and walked right up out of there. But he wasn't there for them. He was there for the ones who followed him out. Now, keep in mind, Jesus went in without a team. He came out with one. That's another leadership quality. He didn't come in there to try to get nobody to leave where they was at. That wasn't the intent. That was the hope. That was the belief, and that was the faith. He wanted them to come on about that jam because he wanted to set the captives free. But he didn't press the issue. He just walked in, did what God told him to do, and he walked on up out. And whoever felt moved by him followed him. How many of us keep that same energy when it comes to our leadership practices? How many of us be trying to force squad goals? How many people are sitting on a calling or a ministry right now because you're scared to do it by yourself? You're not alone. You don't need a team. Because be honest with yourself. If you got a team and they didn't do it the exact way you want it, because this is a heart baby we talking about. We ain't talking about nothing that you cookie cutter that you found on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube that you trying to mimic and emulate. We're not talking about that. We talking about that baby you've been carrying for years. We talking about that baby that's been sitting inside you for years and is screaming to come out, and you keep telling yourself you can't do it because you don't have nobody else to get you through it. Baby, you got him. Okay? Or whoever you serve, you got him. Them, not them. We don't want to do Legion. Legion's not a thing. Okay? We're not doing that. But you got you. You got who you serve, and whoever you believe gave you life, you got that. Gave you life, not who you came through with life. Who gave you life, okay? There's a difference. Because a prophet is without honor in their own home, okay? They don't get honor there, all right? So let's start there. However, if you have a gift, a dream, whatever you have inside you, and you waiting on somebody else to push that thing out, baby, when you pregnant, how many people can push the baby out with you? Or for my men, because I'm not going to be sexist like that. When you plant a seed, how many people can plant that seed with you? One, right? Just you. Why do we feel like when we want to birth something into the world, we got to have squad goals? Job didn't have squad goals. Jesus, he had future squad goals. But whether they followed him or not, he was going to complete the mission. Because he said yes. Because he said yes. How many of us are going to say yes to ourselves because we carrying a baby and we've been carrying it for years, and contractions have been happening? Let's talk about them contractions. You've been doing everything else and it comes to nothing. Everything that you put your hand, well, I ain't gonna say put your hand on, you put your hand on it, it flourish, but it gets to a plateau because it ain't yours. Because it's not what's in here. I'm just saying. It's something in here, and whoever feels like they was drawn to this live out of nowhere, it's something that's in here that's screaming to get out, and you not letting it out because you keep telling yourself, I can't, I don't know how, which is a bald face lie. Because if you didn't know how, it wouldn't be in there. You wouldn't have no dreams about it. You wouldn't have different plans about it that didn't work out. Let me encourage you again. If you're a follower of Christ, this is whoever. If you're a follower of Christ, this is for you. If God planted a plan in you, he's not going to give you a plan. And I heard this somewhere else, but I feel like I said it first, but because again, that's what God be showing me. If I don't let it out first, he going to give it to somebody else, and I'm about sick of it. Okay. If God gives you a plan, he's not going to give it to you where you don't need him to execute it. So you're supposed to take that plan and keep going back to him so he can give you daily bread in reference to that plan. Okay, what you want me to do, Lord? Like for me, I give you a prime example. Okay, Lord, I want to open a school for you. Bet, say less. I'm with that. So I hit the ground running. Just got the going. Squad goals, grabbing people, doing all kind of stuff. I know y'all about sick of hearing this story, but follow me. Squad goals, all that, right? He like, she ain't asked me what kind of school, what I want her to teach at the school. Because again, she said she want to build the school for me, right? So she kind of need to get the details of what I want inside said school, or what said school should entail before she go. Didn't do that. So time got wasted. So I'm going back to you. If you got something inside you, even if you didn't go to God and be like, hey, I want to do this for you, this still applies. It could be something that he planted inside you, period. Something that's been planted inside you for a long time. Figure out a way. You need to sit in it for a minute. Sit in it for a minute, meditate on it, but don't give up on executing it. Don't give up. Because you're going to forever wonder if the day you decided to give up is the day that you was going to glow up. So back to wondering why your calling feels more heavy than it feels rewarding. It feels more heavy than it feels rewarding is rewarding because you keep wanting to determine how it's going to show up. You're missing how it's manifesting. It's just not manifesting at the speed that you would like. Because a lot of us, and this is for kingdom people. I'm sorry. If you believe in Jesus, this is for you. If you don't, I'm sorry. But it still may apply to each his own. When Jesus came, he had the whole plan from beginning to end, and it didn't stop him from going to the Lord and saying, if you can take this cup from me, correct? How many of us have felt like that about our dream? Like, I just don't even want to have a dream no more. Like, I just don't. Like, can I just be a regular person? Like, can I just do regular stuff? Like, can I not like have to deal with the weight of this dream that's inside me? But then you turn around and be like, you know what? Here am I. It's time to stop asking him to take the weight and start asking him to carry it with us. It's time for us to stop asking him to take the weight away and start asking him to carry it with us. Because to be honest, in your heart of hearts, you don't want him to give it away. You don't. You want to see that baby come out screaming, swinging. You want to see that thing come to fruition. Okay? And you don't want to see it come to fruition like Moses did, where he had ended up smoking the rock and having to run off. You want to see it and walk in it like Joshua did. And I ain't going to take up too much of y'all time, but I had to get on here and I had to share this with y'all because I'm in that season right now where God called me to do something and I said yes. And then I told him how I wanted to do it and he said yes. And then the chosen process began and I stopped walking towards what we agreed on. So even if you agree to do something within yourself, don't let yourself down. Don't tell yourself you can't do it. Don't tell yourself because you ain't balling, shot calling, you ain't got money flowing out. Don't make excuses to be excused. Keep fighting, keep trying. A lot of us are in a season of lack because we lack confidence in ourselves. Not to mention everything out here in these streets is just high for no reason. But it's also because the job market is whack. Now, if you had your own business, you might be a little bit more stable in this season. Or even if you built something on the side to supplement your 9 to 5. That way, if you lose that 9 to 5, you still got something that can carry you over. Either way. Either way. We are in our season of Job because we've been called to follow, but now we're being chosen to lead. And we don't believe that we can lead. So let this be your confirmation. Yes, you can. You can lead. You just have to believe it. Just like you believe the lies that you've been telling yourself that's been stopping you, believe the truth that you can do it and let it push you, launch you. Okay? That's all I got for today, y'all. So until next time, let them provide the increase.